Support everything we do at MWP News by visiting ko-fi.com/MWP News. Every donation helps us stay independent. For breaking entertainment news, reviews, and more, check out MWPnews.com. If you love games, head over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@MWPNewsGaming for reviews and gameplay. Links for all of this will be in the show notes, as well as links to the other podcasts. Thank you for your continued support. Good evening and welcome to Beware of Spoilers. I am Adam. It's our first in a little bit, actually. We'll talk about it another time. But some exciting news before we get too far into it. We have 3 special episodes coming up over the next few weeks. So on Monday, this is going to go up Tuesday night. So on Monday, I can say we will be reviewing Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere, the upcoming Springsteen biopic, directed by Scott Cooper, starring Jeremy Allen White. That will be next Monday. Probably late in the day. The review will probably be up on the website. If you want to see the reviews before the podcast go up, they'll be up on the website first, because we're going to stick to the schedule, and I can type on the train. I can't record a podcast on the train, so that's neither here nor there. But long story short, that's going to be Monday. Saturday of next week, not this coming Saturday, Saturday, October 4th, we will be talking about Hedda, the new movie from Nia DaCosta, with Tessa Thompson. I think this is her first movie after The Marvels. So very interested in seeing that. Then the week after that, on Saturday, October 11th, we will be doing Sentimental Value. Both of those will be at the Hamptons International Film Festival, and that's how we'll be wrapping up our big event movies for the year. We'll still be doing Tron Legacy, or is it Tron? No, Tron Ares. We'll still be doing our regularly scheduled movies. The bit that I have planned for, what's the other movie called? We're going to be doing a preview of Avatar, The Way of Water, Avatar, Fire and Ash as well, because they're going to be showing an extended preview of it with screenings of Avatar, The Way of Water, starting next week. So that'll be in 2 weeks on Monday. But here we are, and I have now just seen One Battle After Another, the new movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Regina Hall and a newcomer who I've never heard of before. I think her name is Chase Infinity, based on the credits. This is the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie. Paul Thomas Anderson of Boogie Nights, of Licorice Pizza, of The Phantom Thread. And this is, him doing a little more action. It's more of a thriller than it is action. But it's one of those movies that I've seen this year that I'm like, oh, they definitely started working on this well before last November. And then they just like, fuck it, put it out anyway. Because it feels very topical. It's about this group of revolutionaries who are led by Regina Hall, and not led by, but they're kind of like the main characters from it. Regina Hall and Leonardo DiCaprio, and then also in the group is like Alana Haim, who was the lead in Licorice Pizza. She comes back for a little bit. Teyana Taylor's in it, and she's always great. But the two of them fall in love while they're going out and trying to lead this revolution. Things go badly on a job, and Regina Hall ends up getting caught, and then she turns state witness and turns everyone in. Leonardo DiCaprio and his daughter get away, and they go on, and then they go into hiding. Sean Penn plays a colonel for Border Patrol or the Army or Immigration Enforcement, or he's a colonel. I think he's just a colonel in the Army or the National Guard or whatever, but he's a colonel. And what he's doing, and he wants to get into this, let's just not sugarcoat it, this white supremacist group that is like the Sons of Christmas or something like that, or the Friends of Christmas, some bullshit like that. So he wants to get into this group because his thought process is he thinks that he's better than everyone. And he just, he wants to be in there with the president from Scandal, who also played Roz's boyfriend in a few episodes of Frasier. The other two guys I have definitely seen before. I just couldn't place from where. And they're like white supremacists. The problem is, back in the heyday of the I think it was the French 57 was the name of the group they were with. During the heyday of that, he had an affair with Regina Hall, and the baby that they have is actually that Leonardo DiCaprio now had, that is now living with Leonardo DiCaprio. Turns out that baby, now 16 years later, now a teenager, is actually his. And one of the things is like, look, you can't have had any dalliances with anything. Like you need to be white. You need to be traceable to the United States. You need to be Christian. You need to be, you can't be, you can't have anything, and you can't have had relations with with anyone who's not white. So he goes out on this purge, using the army and using the immigration enforcement as a pretext. He uses it to go into these towns to start wiping out immigrant communities looking for this girl. And then that is what this movie is about. They get separated, the two of them, because she's at a dance, he's at home. That's when all hell breaks loose. And then once that happens, that is where, it is a mission of Leonardo DiCaprio to find his daughter. Score is great. The score is fantastic in this movie. I think that the thing that really works for it is the building of tension, the way they spend a tremendous amount of time just letting you live in this world, letting you just exist and live in these moments with tracking shots and with these long takes as they're going through places, like running through, or just hastily moving through, or these long takes on phone calls, just to be like, time is of the essence. And it's just the way that the score kind of ties into that. It's all fantastic. Great work on that. Chase Infinity, absolutely fantastic. Never saw her in anything before this. She's great. Put her in more stuff. Let's see what else we can put her in. She's great in this movie. As always, you can expect good things from Teyana Taylor. As always, you can expect good things from Regina Hall, both of which are fantastic actresses. Leonardo DiCaprio, obviously someone you can always anticipate. Sean Penn does a great job playing the white supremacist colonel. And Benicio del Toro is just great as the sensei in this town that's being raided, who is this community activist and all of that. He's fantastic too. The cast is phenomenal in this movie. It's easily a top 5 movie of the year for me. And I think the thing is too, it's like you don't have to, when you're watching it, it's 2:45 in runtime, which is one of those things that, like, number one, I forgot because I bought like 4 movie tickets at once and I mixed up what time was what. So I was like, 4:45. There's no way that the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie is 2 hours and 2 hours and 45 minutes. That doesn't, but I seem to recall, now thinking back, Licorice Pizza was a little long too. Or maybe it just felt like an eternity because it was a fucking slow-ass movie. But I was like, okay, maybe that's not it. But it turns out it's 2:45, and it kind of flies. It slows down a bit once we get out of the town. And once we get on from there, it kind of slows down a bit, and I think that's kind of where I started to feel it, especially considering I bought a very large soda and drank about 3/4 of it before the movie started. I did start to feel it about there, and it's you know it's fine. I think that they could have done more with 2 hours and 45 minutes to really develop what's going on in terms of this, you know, white supremacist story. I think that that's kind of the weak point of this whole thing, where it's necessary and required, the Christo-fascist aspect of it that's going to be playing into using the fact that they hate immigrants, using the fact that they're using that as a pretext for whatever they're going to do, the language, the psychopaths, the drug dealers, it's all stuff that's mirrored in real life, and I think that really works. The issue is it takes too long to get to that point, and that's kind of where the movie, you know, it ends up loading it with exposition, and I'm like, I don't really need that. I don't really need them to kind of like explain that all. It's just like, hey, we have this group, do you want to join? You can't have, like, it's meant to be, and I got the feeling from watching it, it's meant to be this dovetailed organization with the 57th French, but on the idea, or French 57th, like, it's meant to be this alternate version, like the far-right version of it, but it never really gets elaborated on to the degree that the French 57th or 57th, whatever the fuck it is, gets elaborated on. And maybe it's not quite as important, but it feels like if you're going to do a story like this, where you're going to have these two organizations that are kind of intertwined with each other as it goes on, you do kind of have to give equal time, so to speak, which is not the right word to use in this case. But if you're going to develop one, and it's meant to, you have the other one that's meant to be kind of the same, which is the feeling I got from it, you would think they would do more. I also would have liked to see more explanation for who these other people are. Like, we get the explanation that, like, you know, we have the colonel, there was another guy there who served in the army, and then there is Roger from Frasier, who is, I think he works for the government. He's like the deputy of some department, deputy director of some government agency, what I gathered from that. I could be wrong, but that's what that, you know, that's what that does. It's like, I would have liked to have seen some explanation about who these other people are and what kind of power they have. I mean, granted, it's like they have the final meeting with Sean Penn at this giant high-rise in presumably Los Angeles, or really, we don't know where the hell it is. So like, we know there's money and power to be had and be used, but just like, I would have liked to have seen, like, if this is going to be something that's going to be intertwined in the story and it's going to be as important as it is, especially considering that, like, the movie opens with a raid on an immigration detention center. Like, that's where we start. Like, and then it's kind of just a little bit weird. And the other thing that I was like, that's a little bit strange, is that when all is said and done, the one of the key plot points to get things moving along is that his daughter, Willa, has a phone, and she's not supposed to have a phone because this whole thing is that these are former, you know, these are former militants, so they're not going to have anything that can be traced, and she has a phone and she's not supposed to. And all of that said, it's like, so she has, the friends have her numbers. The friend who gives her up is the one non-binary person in the movie. Arguably the only non-binary person I've seen in the movie all year, but for the sake of this movie, the only non-binary person in this movie is the person who gives her up, which is this weird thing where it's like, the entire pretext for a movie that is as finger on the pulse with everything else, you know, with immigration and the fascists and all of that, for a movie that's as on the nose with everything else and kind of just nails everything else, it's weird that they elected to have the non-binary person, where the rhetoric behind the, you know, gender ideology, quote unquote, which is all bullshit. Like, the whole right-wing outcry over it's bullshit, but like, the entire thing is that it's like, oh, we can't trust them about anything because they're not even honest about their gender. It's like, and that's the person who betrays her feels like a weird choice. Like, you have a group with 2 white girls, a Hispanic guy, and a non-binary person, and the person who betrays her is the non-binary person. It's just kind of a weird choice for something that's as, kind of perfectly on the nose with everything else. It's just kind of like a weird choice to make. And then also, was that really necessary? I really enjoyed this movie, though, otherwise. I think this movie is really strong. I think, like all Paul Thomas Anderson movies, he is one of those people that will put out a movie and it'll be a perennial contender for the Academy Award that year. I think he makes a strong case for Best Director. The cinematography is just on point through this entire thing. Every frame of painting fits perfectly for this movie. Everything, there's just so many perfectly composed shots all over this thing. It's just like the scene where where Sean Penn hands over the daughter to the Comanche tracker. I didn't say it was a Comanche tracker. He's a bounty hunter. They throw a lot of weird things. It's like, I don't know if I trust it, but he's was he Comanche? Was he not? Was he Mexican? They have a whole thing about his race. I think he was Comanche, but even so, I don't think we should trust the white supremacists on their clocking of someone's ethnicity. Either way, it's like there's a Native American tracker dude, and Sean Penn hands her over to him, and in that scene, there's this great shot of just the 2 of them standing face to face with their cars on either side, and it's just blown up on the Dolby screen I saw it on. It looks fantastic. The slow speed car chase at the end through the desert is just fantastic. What was the other thing that was really good? The entire thing when he's trying to get in touch with the resistance or the revolution that happens. I would say relatively early on. No, about midway, a little before midway through the movie, when he's in the building and the sensei is trying to get everyone out. That whole thing is just great. The tracking shots, people walk through the space, getting to know the space as a character almost. That whole thing just works on every level. This is a very strong case for Best Director. I'll have to see who the nominees are, but this is going to be a very strong case. What else have we got? I think that basically wraps it up. I did really enjoy this movie. 5 stars, check it out. It's playing in theaters now. Definitely worth your time. By the way, why the fuck is Kevin O'Leary in a movie? Why? Is this like when Mike Francesa was in, what was that? In Uncut Gems? They throw Kevin why are we throwing Kevin O'Leary a bone? You know what it, no, because it's not, you can't even say it's that, because it's he has no purpose being there, and it seems like he's a big role in Marty Supreme, and I'm like, but why? Who is this for? Who wasn't going to see this movie and is now like, holy fuck, the guy from Shark Tank is in it? Because I saw him and I was like, there's no way that's him. And then it's like, they go through all the names, and it's like, Timothée Chalamet, Gwyneth Paltrow, Odessa Dazon, who's really good on Ghosts. And then it's like Kevin O'Leary, and it's like, really? Okay, sure, why not, I guess. But yeah, it's that was one of the trailers they showed. And I hadn't seen it before. I had no idea what the movie was about. But I'm like, oh, it's about ping pong, I guess. Okay, that's a movie. We might see it. We'll see, depending on the schedule. Come December. And by the way, Wuthering Heights. I saw that trailer today. I hadn't watched it on YouTube. I saw the trailer today before this, and I was just like, that doesn't look great. And also, AMC, what the fuck? You spent all this time complaining about, oh, well, people said it was too much before the movie, so we're going to cut down on the number of ads that we show. And it's like, I got there late. Because I got to the theater, and I went in, bought my concessions, went into the theater, sat down. It was 6 o'clock start time. It was 6:01. So late, technically. They didn't start showing the pre-roll, welcome to AMC bullshit until 6:05. or like closer to 6:10 actually. Then you do all that. Then you do the trailers. Then it's just like, why? What the fuck are we doing here? But we'll wrap up there for today. As I said, we have coming up next week on the what's it called? On this thing's broken again. That's nice. Coming up this week on Monday, we will be talking about what the fuck's that movie? Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. Next Saturday, we will be talking about Hedda. The Saturday after that, we'll be talking about Sentimental Value, the new Joachim Trier movie, with Elle Fanning and Stellan Skarsgård. Also on the schedule, Tron Ares. We'll be doing that. Not in the advanced screening, because Disney doesn't seem to understand the appeal of the advanced screening by making you pay for it. Or not making you pay for it. Like, you should pay to get into the movie, but, like, if you have A-list, why are you exempting people with A-list from going in there? Which is why we will not be doing that one early. And this is not the first time this has happened, either. They did this with The Roses, too, and I was like, okay, well, I guess we just won't do that early then. We also going to be, like I said, we'll be doing the preview of Avatar, Fire and Ash over on 30-Minute Reviews. And then there was one other movie on the schedule. I forgot what it is, though. But yeah, we will be doing Marvel Zombies. We will be doing, catching up with Peacemaker. But the last week or so has been very hectic with news that has taken up a lot of time in the morning when I normally would do that. And then also next week on, Next week on, the Backlog Files. On, I believe, Tuesday, we'll be doing Pac-Man World 2 Repack, which I've played through and have thoughts on. But we'll wrap up there for today, and until our next episode, have a great rest of your week.